Hey man, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you. Now, one thing I noticed, a lot of times you think when you think of a cyber criminal or a hacker, you think of a scrawny guy. That's not you at all, but you kind of add that kind of physicality into this character. Was that always in the script, or was that brought on with you?
No, I don't think it was sort of described in the script, any specific sort of physicality necessarily. I remember when I first spoke to Michael about the film, I said, do I fit the demographic of a hacker, you know, our sort of typical idea? And he said, look, the cliched version of a hacker that we think or once thought was it has changed. He said across all walks in society and social economic sections and whatever it is, are hackers. You know, they exist in the mafia, they exist in the most educated corners of the world, they exist in the criminal world and in the not criminal world. You know, it's this is the world we live in. And you know, I certainly wanted to lose the sort of Thor weight that I was carrying before then and lean down, so I did that. But all the prep we did, you know, we went to a number of prisons and spoke with, you know, individuals serving time and there was, you know, that's another world in there, and you, I think, go into prison, one person, come out someone totally different, and all those things, I think, added layers and ideas for me, whether I was conscious of them or not, you know.
Well, you also add another layer with your accent, the dialect. How was that, and finding the right fit with it?
Yeah, it was good. We spent a lot of time on that, and Michael had a very specific idea of how this guy needed to sound, and so we spent time in Chicago and obviously time, you know, here in LA, and a number of great dialect coaches, and but also it was more sort of a rhythm and a bounce to the way this guy spoke due to his time in prison, you know, and which affected you know, the character and how I was going to play him.
Seems like you've played a pretty successful balancing act with not only playing Thor and be in the Marvel universe, but also doing films like this and Rush. How do you find that balance, and where does it, especially as an actor, where do you find that?
Oh, look, I've been, you know, lucky to one degree to be able to, you know, that Ron Howard had any interest in working with me or Michael, but you know, for me it was those guys. You know, I grew up watching their films and you know, some of my favourite directors. So working with great directors, I think, you know, and great material and subjects that are new and fascinate me, and something I haven't worked in, and just mixing it up, I guess. But filmmaker driven is I think the biggest priority for me.
And what was the attraction with this?
Was Michael Mann. Yeah, you know, before I even read the script, it was something that you know, it was pretty easy to make the decision. And then the subject was obviously more relevant now and poignant because of, you know, the recent events, you know, with cybercrime and hacking. But back then it existed, we just didn't know, or 2 years ago, we just didn't know as much about it, or it wasn't as public. And I just found that fascinating and wanted to explore it in greater detail.